So, in the last, I was explaining about the worldwide soldiers of pharmacovigilance team, and now I'll be explaining about what is the importance of pharmacovigilance in drug regulation. So, first one is what is the importance of pharmacovigilance in clinical trial regulation. So these clinical trials, there is a substantial increase in the number of clinical trials in developed as well as in the developing countries. And in their approval of these clinical trials by the regulatory bodies also have been increased. And these regulatory bodies, they will make sure that the medicines which are undergoing in the clinical trials, all the medicines, they are of 100% safety, 100% effective. They are having efficiency of new products under investigations, and these regulatory bodies will make sure that all the clinical trials, whether they are following all the ethical guidelines, and the medicines which they are undertaking the clinical trials, whether that particular medicines are safe, effective, or whether that particular medicines are showing any type of harm or any type of adverse drug reactions on the patients. That and all will be evaluated by the pharmacovigilance team during the clinical trials, and they will educate and training of the health professionals, exchange of information between the national pharmacovigilance centers, and all serve to enhance the effective patient care. So these pharmacovigilance team, they will educate and train the health professionals and the investigators who are doing these clinical trials, and they will educate the public about the effective use of the medicines and the exchange of information between the doctors. So if the doctors and the investigators who are undertaking this clinical trials, and during the clinical trials, if any one particular medicine is showing any type of adverse drug reactions, and that time those health professionals have to exchange their information between the national pharmacovigilance centers. So as they're exchanging the information, these national pharmacovigilance centers will be able to exchange those information to the Uppsala monitoring center, and by doing that we will be able to enhance the effectiveness of the patient care. We'll be able to improve the public health as well as the patient care. So this pharmacovigilance team, they play a very important role in the clinical trial regulations. For this, one example is, so last year we all know that AstraZeneca company, they were doing clinical trials to one of the COVID vaccine, and during the phase 2 clinical trials, so for one of the patients or one or two of the patients, the particular vaccine showed some type of adverse drug reaction. So the health professionals stopped the clinical trials and they informed the pharmacovigilance team. The pharmacovigilance team came and they evaluated. They were able to understand why that particular adverse drug reaction is being shown that particular vaccine, and then they tried to evaluate and modify that particular vaccine. Then only that vaccine was permitted to enter the phase 3 clinical trials. This pharmacovigilance team, they play a very important role as a regulatory bodies in the clinical trial regulation. And the second one is post-marketing safety drug monitoring. So in post-marketing safety drug monitoring, what this pharmacovigilance team does is, they will not only monitor the adverse drug reactions, they will also detect the drug interactions. So the new medicines which are releasing into the market, they will look into that, whether that particular medicines is interacting with the other medicines which are already present in the market. Is there any drug interactions between those medicines? And they will measure the environmental burden of the medicines used in large populations. So they will also evaluate whether that particular medicines which are releasing into the market, whether those medicines are showing any type of environmental burdens in large populations, and they will assess the contributions of the inactive ingredients into the safety profile. So once a medicines, we will not release only that particular drug into the market, right? So during the formulation of that particular drug, so many excipients will be added to prepare the tablets or syrups of that particular drug. So these pharmacovigilance team, they will not only evaluate that particular drug, but they will also evaluate the excipients which are added together with that particular drug, to know whether that inactive ingredients are affecting the patient's safety, or is that inactive ingredients are having safety profile or not. So that will be monitored by the pharmacovigilance team. Okay, in the post-marketing safety drug monitoring, that is a post-marketing surveillance. And the next is the importance of pharmacovigilance in national drug policy. So any particular medicine which is releasing into the market, so that particular medicine's good quality, safety and effective medicines and their appropriate use is the responsibilities of the national government. So it is a responsibility of the government to make sure that any type of medicine which is releasing into the market, that medicine, whether it is safe, whether it is effective, or whether that particular medicine is of 100% quality or not, that is the responsibility of the national government. So these pharmacovigilance team and other multidisciplinary collaborations will be there. It is these multidisciplinary collaborations is of greater importance as the links need to be forged between various departments of the Ministry of Health and also with other stakeholders such as pharmaceutical industries, universities, non-governmental organizations having responsibility for education on rational use of medicines and pharmacotherapy monitoring. So these pharmacovigilance team, they will form a multidisciplinary collaborations with the government as well as other stakeholders of pharmaceutical companies and other non-governmental organizations. Because of these collaborations, which and all the medicines which are releasing from these pharmaceutical industries, the government will make sure that those medicines which are released, they are of 100% safety, or they are of 100% whether the company is following all the quality guidelines. So that will be taken into responsibility by the government. So that is the role of the pharmacovigilance in the national drug policy. So now we'll learn about, in the last slide we have learned about what is the importance of pharmacovigilance in drug regulation, and in this slide we are going to learn about the importance of the pharmacovigilance in international health. So how the pharmacovigilance play a very important role in these 4 parameters. The first one is drug utilization. How pharmacovigilance will play a very important role in drug utilization is, we all know that these drug utilization, they are the major determinant in the drug safety. For example, injectable medicines is more common in the developing countries, and IV route is likely to be associated with a high risk of adverse reactions when compared to other route of administrations like oral or any other route of administrations. So when these injections which are used for the IV, they are administered by inadequately sterilized equipment or any poorly trained persons, what happens is, or if the self-medication and the lack of regulatory control measures over the sale of the drugs will increase the risk of the ADR. Say, if any one particular drug, if that particular drug is safe also, if that particular drug is injected in a unsterilized injections to the patients, what happens is, because of the unsterilized injections, that particular drug may turn into a toxic compound. Okay? It will not be the problem of the drug, but it may be because of the unsterilized injections or because of the doctors, as they are not trained to how to inject a particular person. So these pharmacovigilance team, they will try to avoid all these risk factors by increasing the public awareness. They will educate the public about the effective use of the medicines. They will educate the public in how to use the medicines, with how we should use sterilized injections and how we should use use and throw injections, when we should not use one injections for every administration. So everything they will educate the public about that, and they will increase the public awareness, and they will ensuring the advocacy for the decision makers, and they will increase the sensitization of the health workers. So this pharmacovigilance team, as they will educate the public. So apart from the adverse drug reactions, this lack of regulatory control measures will be undertaken by the pharmacovigilance team. And the second one is ARIS declaration. So ARIS declaration was done in 1997. So what is ARIS declaration? What is the statement which was given in ARIS declaration is, this ARIS declaration represents a significant progress in the light of these changes. So these ARIS declaration, it challenges all the players, that is health professionals, industry, government, drug regulators, media, consumers, etc., to strive towards the highest ethical ethical and professional scientific standards in protecting and promoting the safe use of the medicines. So this declaration urges the government and others involved in determining the policies relating to the benefit, harm, effectiveness and risk of the medicines to account for what they communicate to the public and the patients. That is, the government has to provide all the details about that particular medicine, whether it is the benefits of that particular medicines or harm, the effectiveness or risk of the medicines. It has to be communicated to the public and the patients. And this particular declaration, it calls for the honesty when communicating the drug safety information, even when such information may be incomplete and investigations are underway. Even the investigations are not complete also, no problem. That information has to be communicated with the public and the patient. It further asks that the patients be openly informed of the facts, assumptions and uncertainties of the safety profiles of the medicines they use. So this is what ERIS declaration states. So the third one is protecting the patient confidentiality. So how the pharmacovigilance play a very important role is, see, once the medicine is releasing into the market, the doctors will prescribe that particular medicines to the patients, and the patients, if that particular medicine is showing any type of long-term adverse drug reactions, the patients, after they are facing any type of adverse drug reactions, they will go and they will say it to the doctors, and the doctors will convey that information to the pharmacovigilance team, and these pharmacovigilance team, they will protect the patient confidentiality, and they will not give the details of which patient is showing in that particular adverse drug reactions, or any type of details of that particular patients will not be given to the government, or it will not be conveyed to the media. So this pharmacovigilance team, they will protect the patient confidentiality. And the fourth one is international response to drug safety issues. So how the pharmacovigilance play a very important role in international level in drug safety issues is because of the aggressive marketing of the new medicines by the pharmaceutical manufacturers and the resultant rapid exposure over a short period of time of large number of patients to warrant the creation of a system for global assessment of the drug safety concerns. That is, in a short period of time, because of the aggressive marketing of these pharmaceutical industries, they are marketing these new medicines at a faster rate, and large number of patients are consuming that particular medicines at a time. And because of this, because of the global assessment of these new medicines, the pharmacovigilance team, they are not able to get all the data from all the patients, and because of that, they are not able to solve all the drug safety issues. And in order to get rid of that, the pharmacovigilance team, they have created an independent advisory panel, which is composed of a broad spectrum of medical disciplines, including clinical pharmacologists, regulators, academic teachers and epidemiologists. And the function of that panel will be to provide advice to the WHO of the drug safety issues relating to the medicinal products, including its collaborative center for international drug safety monitoring, and through it to the member state of WHO. So because of the formation of this panel, the pharmacovigilance team will be able to get the information from all parts of the world, and if that medicine is been released because of this aggressive marketing also, they will get all the data of that particular medicine from every doctors and every patients who are consuming that particular medicine. So this pharmacovigilance will play a very important role in preventing they show a very good response to the drug safety issues. These are the books that I referred for the getting notes for this particular session, that is significance of drug safety monitoring. Thank you.